Welcome to the College Investor Audio Show, where we talk about the biggest issues impacting millennial money, from student loan debt to side hustles to building wealth. We will show you how to get out of debt so that you can build real wealth for the future.
A great question we're going to answer on today's podcast. How do you defer enrollment in college? Let's get right to it. So to defer your enrollment in college after you've been accepted, you can work with your college's admissions office to complete its formal deferment process. They all have one. So you might be wondering if you should defer enrollment in college anyway. It is a common consideration, especially if you're contemplating whether or not you're even ready to start your academic career. If you find yourself in this boat, you're just not alone. Keep these questions in mind as you try to determine if you should defer enrollment. First question, what does it mean to defer enrollment anyway? So deferring enrollment basically means you're delaying your college start date. You intend to enroll in classes eventually, but just not right now. You can typically defer enrollment for a semester or even a year. In some circumstances, you might even request a longer deferment. To defer enrollment, you first have to complete the admissions process and accept an offer of admission from a college. You'll still have to put down a deposit. Most schools have a formal process you'll have to follow to approve your deferment request. You're going to want to work closely with the admissions office, they're your best friends in this case, to make sure you complete all the paperwork it needs. So what are the reasons for deferring enrollment in college? Well, life happens. You might not be ready to enroll in college right away, or perhaps something unexpected takes you by surprise. So here are some common reasons why some students decide to do this. Taking a gap year. So this is historically popular in Europe and Australia. Gap years are gaining traction in the U.S. too. Some students decide to take a gap year to travel abroad. Others might even, take one to do volunteer work domestically. Whatever the reason, a lot of colleges have processes in place for students who want to defer their enrollment to take a gap year. Also, family or even medical situations. You might be eager to start education, but life just has other plans for you. Maybe you received an unexpected medical diagnosis. Maybe you have family obligations that require you to put your college plans on hold. So deferring enrollment might be an option you're considering just so you can take care of business at home. Cost of attendance. A lot of students initially underestimate the real cost of college. So go ahead and crunch the numbers and then you realize, oh boy, I can't make tuition payments. So deferring enrollment for a semester or a year might allow you to keep your spot at your school while working to save some money. This can help set you up for financial success in the long run and not that huge mountain of loans to repay back. Work. So you might be unsure what you'd even like to do with your life and want to get some work experience before jumping into your college career. This can be a definite smart move if you don't know what academic track you want to take and maybe you're trying to avoid going into too much debt. Great idea. By the way, we have an article at thecollegeinvestor.com, 20 best side hustles you can start earning with in 2023. Check that out. All right, so here's what you need to do to defer enrollment. If you're considering deferring enrollment, here are a few things you're going to want to ask yourself. Is this decision driven by a financial need? What impact will deferment have on my long-term goals? Take that 30,000-foot view. Do I have something else lined up, like starting a job or even taking a gap year? So it's important to think about all these questions. While deferring enrollment might seem like an easy option, it might not necessarily be the right option either. Be honest with yourself to determine why you're deciding to defer and use these questions to ask for help. If you're deferring out of financial need, for example, you might be able to work with admissions to secure more funding or go part-time for your first year. Once you have a clear sense of your personal situation, call your school's admissions office to inquire about the deferment process. You'll likely have to complete some paperwork and get everything approved before your deferment is finalized. As you work with admissions, these are some things you're going to want to keep in mind. Not all students are eligible to defer their enrollment. Some schools might allow regularly admitted students to defer enrollment but prohibit transfers or students pulled off the wait list from deferring. Make sure you're eligible to defer before you begin the process. You might have to submit an additional deposit. So deposits are used to secure your enrollment. Because you're looking to defer, you might have to pay an additional deposit to provide the school with an extra assurance that you do actually plan to enroll down the road. You also might have to reapply. While deferment might protect your spot at your school, you might need to reapply to an academic department or specific program. You're going to want to talk to the academic department you'll be enrolling in to see if there's a separate reapplication process you'll have to follow. Some parts of your financial aid package might not defer with you either. You'll want to talk with the financial aid office to understand if you'll be forfeiting anything by deferring enrollment or if your entire financial aid package will carry over to your new start date. And as you work through your school's deferment process, be certain that you understand its expectations and requirements. Your college might not allow you to enroll in classes at another school while your enrollment is deferred. You may also have certain deadlines you'll have to meet to ensure you can enroll in the coming semester or year. So the question also comes up, can you defer enrollment after early decision? It's difficult to defer enrollment if you applied, early decision. This is typically considered a binding agreement between you and the school. When you applied early decision, you indicated you understood the risks and responsibilities of doing so, and your school expects you to uphold your commitment. That being said, a school may still allow students who applied early decision to defer enrollment on a case-by-case basis. Admissions offices understand that extenuating circumstances might prevent you from enrolling on time. So the best thing to do, of course, call admissions and ask what your options are. So here are some pros and cons of deferring enrollment in college, and then we'll wrap up for today. As you consider deferring enrollment in college, you're really going to want to make sure the benefits outweigh the risks. So here are some things to consider. First, a few pros. Gap years are opportunities for personal growth. This is really the best time in your life to travel and grow. By taking a gap year, you might be more mature and have a broader perspective when you come back to begin your academic career. It's a chance to build your resume too. While college is an important part of securing a job in the future, it is by no means the only determinant of professional success. Employers value work and volunteer experience too. Taking time off to learn a skill or build your resume can actually help you later in life. Also, it can save you and help you to save some money. As Captain Obvious likes to say, college is expensive, and not everyone wants to finance their education entirely with student loans. Just don't. Delaying your start date can be a wise financial move that might help you avoid massive student loan debt. It may improve your academic performance too. According to the Gap Year Association, they really do exist. Research points to a positive correlation between delaying the start of your college career and academic performance. So while taking a gap year doesn't guarantee better grades, the experience could help you start your college career as a stronger student. Now let's take a look at the cons. There might be some extra costs involved in this. That's of course depending on your school. You might be expected to pay a second deposit like we talked about earlier, or even reapply. This can set you back hundreds of bucks if you aren't prepared for those added costs. You can't use deferment to apply elsewhere either. Maybe you didn't get into your dream school and you're thinking that deferring your admission is a smart way to apply again. Think twice before you do that. If your school finds out, it can withdraw your acceptance and nullify your enrollment. Ugh. Also, your financial aid package might change. Before you defer, you gotta understand that you might actually be forfeiting something. You might lose a merit scholarship or educational grant that won't defer with you. Your housing arrangement might change too. Schools located in areas with a high cost of living might offer first-year students on campus or subsidized housing. If you defer your enrollment, you might miss out on university-sponsored housing. It also may present social challenges. Yeah, a gap year is good for personal growth, but it kind of sets you apart from other students too. Deferring enrollment can impact how you interact with other students and change that social dynamics of your college career, which is also very important to consider. The bottom line, deferring enrollment in college is an option you can consider if you'd like to take that gap year or a personal situation arises that prevents you from enrolling as planned. A gap year may also give you the chance to build a financial cushion or improve your resume before enrolling. Most schools do have formal policies in place to approve deferment requests, but be sure to evaluate the costs and benefits of deferring enrollment before you call your school's admissions office to begin working through the process. And that is our show for today. We are honored that you took time to listen and be a part of things. If you found it helpful, please go ahead and let us know. You can find us all over social media at The College Investor. Just search for The College Investor. You'll find us. You can send us questions, and we'd love to get to know you too. Also, check out thecollegeinvestor.com. Tons of articles about deferring enrollment and all kinds of stuff with college and financial aid, but also student loans and tons of investing tips as well. Thanks so much for stopping by today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.